Christmas draws closer. You know what that means? It's time to play the things you didn't possibly know you couldn't live without. The first thing I didn't know I possibly could live without. Every Star Trek and Star Wars fan has a dilemma. How do you reconcile those two great universes? Well, here it is in the Swiss musical Starship. This heirloom music box transports a listener beyond Earth's bounds with melodies from both space iconic Star Wars and Star Trek. Crafted in St. Croix, Switzerland by renowned horologist Rouge. It plays 35-second excerpts from both theme songs coming from each engine of the spaceship. This can be yours for $31,000. What's another thing we can't possibly live without? Oh my goodness. Does anyone have a friend or a spouse who spends all summer on the golf course by any chance? Well, here it is, the golf cart hovercraft that glides over every hazard, including water features, fairways and rough, powered by a 65-horsepower twin-cylinder Hearth engine. $58,000. And you can put this under the tree. And finally, at St. Mark's, where the tradition of fine music always accompanies the holiday season, what would fine music be without fine speakers to play the music through at home? The optimal resonance audiophile speakers. These two speakers contain four-way speakers that provide the clearest multi-dimensional soundstage performance available, made in England by Bowers and Wilkins for a mere $60,000 for the pair. The materialism our world offers knows no bound. And into this din comes a voice. Prepare the way of the Lord. Make his paths straight. Announcing the arrival of the true thing that none of us can live without. The gift of life from God. Announcing the true thing that brings us eternal life, the gift of Jesus Christ into the world. Now in today's gospel, John is doing what all apocalyptic preachers do. He's stirring things up. He's predicting the end of the world in order to help get the people of his day focused, on board with what is really important. Getting them to acknowledge their limitations and their reliance on God. It's a tall order that John undertakes. And he offers all of us the challenge that we, every Advent, need to look at our lives and somehow come to that balance that we have between all of the material goods of our world and those spiritual and eternal gifts that do endure. I don't know about you, but I have always found that to be one of the great challenges of life. You want to enjoy the good things that God has given us in this world. At the same time, we don't want to forget that they point, all the good things that God gives us points to more eternal truths and eternal goodness. And keeping that in perspective can be quite hard. It's quite a challenge. In the 8th century, there was another John who lived, this time in Damascus. And this John was facing a great heresy called the Manichaean heresy. And this heresy of the church, this was a time when there was a teaching that all material things were bad. All physical parts of our world were evil and needed to be transcended and needed to be gotten over so we can totally focus on God. This is why many of us who have been following the icon series in the chapel know that we have no depiction, save one, of Jesus earlier than the 8th century, because they were all destroyed. They felt you cannot portray Christ or Mary or Joseph or any holy person cannot be portrayed in physical form, because that's terrible. It's using the evil matter of the world, paint or stone or canvas or wood. You can't use that to portray something holy, so get rid of them. The Pope of that era ordered all religious images smashed. It was called the Iconoclastic Controversy of the 8th century. Great title. That's what happened. Into this, John of Damascus says, stop. Now wait a minute. God created paint and wood and canvas and stone. God created the world. God does not create evil. God creates good. The material world is infused to its very being with goodness. God made it that way. God would not become part of an evil world. God becomes part of a good world in Jesus Christ. Humanity is good. It may be broken. It may have rough edges. It may be struggling. Our world may be in great need of healing, but ultimately it was created as goodness, and it's destined to perpetuate goodness through us as we embrace God's love and healing through Jesus Christ. John of Damascus went on to write some of the most beloved Easter hymns that we have in our hymnal, including the Day of Resurrection. For his message, and the message that triumphed in the history of the church, is that the spiritual world is our destiny and is wonderful. And we have glimpses of it in our material and physical world. It's not a giving up of things. It's seeing things in the right light. And so as we go about and prepare in our many, many ways for the holiday seasons, we can do so with the assurance that if we keep the right perspective, if things are seen in the right light, we can enjoy all the wonderful parts the holiday season has to give us. We can enjoy wonderful presents under the tree, perhaps quite not exotic as some of these. We can enjoy that wonderful Christmas dinner as long as we are remembering the eternal values to which those things point and the light in which we see things. Speaking of light, perhaps the engraved message in Westminster Abbey on the monument to C.S. Lewis, unveiled 2 weeks ago, helps put things in the right light. For Lewis, as they claim, one of his greatest phrases were, I believe in Jesus Christ, as I believe the sun has risen. Not because I see it, but because I see everything else. All right. One last past, present. My goodness, it's the voice-activated R2-D2. This motorized replica of the headstrong little droid from the iconic Star Wars films responds to voice commands, navigates rooms and hallways, and makes any home feel like it has been transported to a galaxy far, far away. What do you think of that, R2? Amen.
This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.